Good morning. And the reason I say good morning, no matter what time you're watching this, is because it's morning to me. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, September 12th, 2017. And I want to talk to you today. The reason that I am up at 5 o'clock in the morning making a video is because I was having this dream and I just woke up and started looking at Facebook. And I saw a news story about Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin Companies, and his actions following Hurricane Irma. And for those of you who don't know, like I did not know, he has a home on one of the Virgin Islands. He actually bought the island, so it's his island. And so he and a team of his people just hunkered down. And so it's been like a week, and the hurricane has passed, and the Virgin Islands are devastated. Some of them have been wiped off the map. It's going to take years, decades to rebuild these countries. So it's been about a week since the hurricane hit there, and news reports are emerging that he's getting power back, he's coming out. He's fine. His team is fine. And he's like, this is not about my island. I own my island. I'm going to clean it up. But what he's doing is he's dedicating his resources to rebuilding the other islands, to channeling the resources, to getting out there in the ground, distributing water. Okay, this guy's one of the richest men on the planet. All right. Now, we're hearing all kinds of stories of stuff like this. And that's why I got on here this morning, because Richard Branson is in my book. It's in our book, The Power of Charisma, which I just happen to have here for handy nighttime reading. I read my own book and it puts me to sleep. No. Anyway, so it comes out. My book comes out today. I've been waiting for this launch day for like a year and a half since I started writing this book. And I find it very interesting that on the day the book launches, there's this incredible story of visionary charisma from somebody that I highlighted in the book. So I started thinking about you guys, and, we've had a lot going on here in our world. I was also, as I was on Facebook right before I saw the Richard Branson stuff, I saw stuff about September 11th, and it's been 16 years, and just sort of the devastation that was that. That was 16 years ago. All right, so 16 years ago, we had September 11th. This last month, we've had massive hurricanes devastating, the United States Caribbean area. We have fires, we have terrorist attacks all over the world. Okay, this is not going to go away. Massive sociologically scaled devastation isn't going to go away. Also, this weekend, my family experienced a personal loss as well. My daughter's dog and companion of 8 years, which literally represents 1/3 of her life, she passed away unexpectedly on September 10th. And she's devastated. She is devastated. She is emotionally as devastated as the Virgin Islands are physically, okay? Her life will never be the same. So I was inspired to come on here and talk to you guys about that, because the fact of the matter is that it's never going to change. We're always going to have stuff that devastates us, whether it's a dog dying, a child dying, a spouse leaving, a hurricane, a layoff, all the things that happen that devastate our lives, okay? And so many times we think, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it, or we don't feel it. We're like, oh, I'm not Richard Branson. I don't have millions of dollars to go and help rebuild. And you probably don't. I know I don't. But does that mean you can't do anything? Does that mean that you're not charismatic enough to affect change? Does it mean that you should just give it up and go go watch TV? No. In the book, we talk about there are 4 types of charisma, and I didn't invent this part. This part came from a woman whose name is Olivia Fox Cabane, and she wrote a book called Charisma Myth. And she identified 4 types of leadership. I'm sorry, 4 types of charisma. It's 5 in the morning. And they are, I'm going to read it simply because I want to say it right. It's 5 in the morning. They're focused charisma, which is when you're there and you're present with somebody and you're focused on them. And, like the type of person who you walk in the room and you feel like they're just totally present just with you. I've heard that Bill Clinton has this, that when he's talking to you, whether it's for 30 seconds or 30 minutes, you get like the sense that you're the only one in the room. Okay. Then there's visionary charisma. These are the typical type of people with charisma that we think they're up there and this is the future and we shall rebuild and we shall overcome. And, there's that. Then there's something called kindness charisma. And I know a lot of people who have this type of charisma. These are the compassionate ones, the ones that are not looking for the glory, not looking for recognition, but they're out there. My next door neighbor across the street, she's unbelievably charismatic in a kind way. She's behind the scenes. She brings in everybody's trash cans, literally the whole block. I haven't had to bring in my trash cans. I lived here for 4 years, and I've never once had to bring in the trash cans because she gets them before I do. All right. If there was a disaster in our neighborhood, she would be the one that would be going up and down the street helping save the old people. Okay. These are the stories of the strangers who, during Hurricane Harvey, went out there and saved people. Okay. They weren't doing it because they considered themselves particularly charismatic. They did this because they're out of kindness. All right. And then the fourth type is authority charisma. So this is the sort of formal, structural, like I'm the boss, I'm the CEO, and it's because of my role. I'm a doctor, I'm a what. There's also something that I added on in the book that I called humble charisma, which is similar to kindness charisma, but it's sort of that quiet, graceful, introverted, but still very charismatic. Now, another thing that I talk about in the book is how the C factor, which is the premise of the book, is that charisma is a function of person 1, person 2, and the environment. All right. So the person who's charismatic, the receiver, and the environment. And what's happening with the major events, the September 11th, the hurricanes, is it's an opportunity, it's an environment that can bring out the type of charisma that is needed to make change, to make it better. And so that's what I wrote the book about. That's why I wrote this book, because things never change. They do change, but these things continually happen. We're going to continue to have crises, whether it's small or whether it's large. And you can use this thing called the C factor, okay? You can identify your own type of charisma, whether it's visionary, whether it's out there donating water, whether it's bringing in somebody's trash cans, whether it's like with my daughter, okay? She doesn't want me to run over there and make her chicken soup. We're vegan, but she doesn't want me to run over there and make her vegan matzo ball soup, okay? She wants to be alone. She wants to be alone in her grief. And that's okay. That's what she needs. And a person who understands the C factor understands that a quiet, peaceful, strength type of charisma, to just hold someone's hand and go, I understand and I'm here for you. Okay, that's charisma. Charisma is not always running down the street with a flag going, notice me, or standing on top of a van going, thank you for coming. Okay, that's not what charisma is necessarily. So if you don't think of yourself as a charismatic person, you don't think that you have this special C factor that will allow you to make a difference when you see something going on, when there's a devastating event in your neighborhood or in your family or in your community or in our world, okay, you do. It's learned. You can learn it. Just like you learned every other thing that you ever learned before, you can learn to be charismatic. You can learn to be charismatic. I wrote a book about it. No, but you can learn, okay? Trust me, if I can learn to say the word charisma, Okay, guys. I'm real excited about the release of this book, as you can probably tell. Because I really, honestly, truly, truly, truly believe that once we master the idea that no matter what your personality is, or whether you think of yourself as charismatic, or whether you care to be charismatic, the truth is that the ability to influence other people, to influence our environment, is the only way that we're going to get stuff done, guys. Whether you're Richard Branson going, I'm going to stand out there and hand out water, or whether you're a mom whose kid is going through something terrible and you're just like, you got this, kid. All right? You can do it. So go be charismatic. Bye.